Oh, well, I'm back, honey. I'm back with yet another review on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So let's go ahead and talk about it, okay? So it seems like Diana is having her Christmas party or something like that. A holiday party is what I'll say. And her husband Asher is up there singing. So I didn't know that Asher knew how to sing. I don't even know. I thought Asher was a model, but obviously he has the vocal cords as well. But while he's singing, I thought it was highly disrespectful of Erika to be up there singing while this man is singing and then singing off key. And I'm sitting over there looking at Erica like, Kyle, do you not see what Garcelle has been saying to you? Like, is this not a clear example? But you still want to sit up here and give grace because she's having a good time. Got it. Okay. So let's keep going. So the ladies speak on Sutton being lonely, then Erica drinking too much. So they talk about those two things. Okay. Kyle still wants everybody to give Erica slack. She feels like she needs to be given slack based on everything that she's been through recently. And she's just trying to let her hair down. Right. And then Garcelle loved it. Mwah. Garcelle turns to her and says, I'm not giving her any slack. You can give her slack. I said, yes, 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 yes. I'm not giving no motherfucking slack. If you want to give the slack, then slack on, dear. Okay. So I absolutely loved how Garcelle is starting to check Kyle in mid moment. Like I love it, like right at the time. So Kathy seems to be agreeing with Garcelle though. Okay. Garcelle, what did I say? I said, Garcelle, we can't act like we don't see. Okay, I believe this is what Garcelle is saying. Basically, we can't act like we don't see stuff, okay, and ignore it to save the friendship for the sake of the friendship. And I love that she said that because she subtly called out Miss Kyle. Like, girl, we can't act like we don't see what's happening here. It's happening. And I'm glad that she brought that out. And then we're going to see at a later time where Lisa Rinna is feeling the same exact way. See, Kyle, you're out here being bogus again for the sake of the friendship, for you not wanting to be the person to be in conflict with Erika for putting such a narrative out there. Okay. It seems like Kyle went on to say, oh, I'm ultra sensitive based on my sister. You know, the situation that we went through with Kim. I wasn't watching the show at the time for how she portrayed her sister or if she was a part of putting a drinking problem off on her sister or what, but I could tell just from the sit down that Garcelle had with Cherie. I'm sorry, that Kyle had with Garcelle and Cherie, that she didn't want to be a part of this conversation because she didn't want to put that out on somebody of them having a drinking problem. But that's Erica's fault. Okay. That's not putting anything on her. That's being honest and clear about what it is that we see. And from what it is that we see, it appears as though Miss Girl has a drinking problem. Like that's just like, and she's mixing it with meds. Like, how can you as a friend not be concerned because you just don't want to put that label on her? Like, as a real friend, you would be concerned. Like, I'm not trying to put this out here, and regardless of however it looks, you can still spin this story because you have been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Which is the reason why you're taking on such actions. But like, we got to get this together. We got to nip this in the bud. So I didn't really like how Kyle was moving. Then she had the audacity to say that Garcelle is baiting her. I don't think Garcelle is baiting you at all. I think that Garcelle is calling you out and Garcelle is checking you. She's not baiting you, period. Okay. Let's keep going. She's just being honest about how she's viewing this situation. Now, whether you choose to not want to see it is on you. Garcelle is calling it out exactly how she sees it. Okay. So Crystal thinks that Kyle is blindly supporting Erika, and Crystal does not agree. And I agree with Crystal. She is blindly supporting this lady. Meanwhile, Erika is over there talking to Diana about getting help from Lisa and her daughter. So it seems like Lisa is noticing what's going on, and Lisa is on the head top of Miss Erika, letting her know, like, girl, you can't keep operating like this. Like, we're gonna have to change up something, okay? We know that you went through a lot of things, but now we're at a place where you gotta grow up from that. You gotta grow past this struggle that you're in or whatever, okay, girl? And it seems like every time Miss Erika tries to grow, it doesn't matter because she's being faced with lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. Now somebody's trying to bring up racketeering charges or whatnot towards Miss Woman and suing her for, I believe, over $1 million. So Miss Erika cannot catch a break, honestly, girl. So I understand why she might want to pick up a drink. I do. But if you continue to do that, you could go down like, girl, listen, okay? It could get real bad for you. But let's keep going. So Diana apologizes to Garcelle for her actions at the birthday party. And she just pretty much lets her know that she was wrong. Okay. She was wrong for how she came at her. She felt like Garcelle was really just trying to, be nice and be a friend. But I do think she should have apologized because it was some mess at the actual party. But then at the same time, I kind of felt like what you told Garcelle wasn't necessarily wrong, because sometimes the same way I feel like Kyle blindly supports Erika, I feel like Garcelle is in this place that I won't say that she blindly supports Sutton, but she heavily likes to step up and speak for Sutton or step in. It's like she does come off as though she feels like she has to protect Sutton. And I don't really like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like fall back, like I can see if the ladies are ganging up on Sutton and then you need to slide in. Kind of how Crystal tried to slide in and take up for Sutton and have Sutton's back, but everybody flipped it and turned on Crystal. So I think that there are times you may need to slide in, but sometimes it's not even warranted and you immediately feel like you're the protector and you jump in. And I mean, when Diana said, I mean, like, who are you, her bodyguard or whatever she said to her, I'm like, she wasn't wrong when she said that, in my opinion, girl. But based on the antics and everything surrounding the birthday party, I understand her wanting to apologize. So I think that was good. Cool. They're in an okay space. Okay. But what was funny was Diana tells Garcelle that she could see in her eyes that Garcelle likes her. And I'm chuckling because Garcelle's like, yeah, so this was cute. This was nice. Like, girl, it was giving to me that Garcelle really doesn't like you like that. She doesn't necessarily, she really don't. Like, she don't. But this party and stuff was cute. I don't think she's in a place where she's trying to make an enemy so she could do with or without you, for real, for real. More so probably without you, but she always gonna ride for Sutton. So I'm like, that's funny. I see in your eyes that you want to like me. Okay, let's keep going. So what we ended up learning was that PK ended up getting pulled over for I guess, suspicion of DUI or something like that. And I'm like, suspicion of DUI? Like, I've never really heard of that. I do remember when this situation happened a few months ago, last year or whatever. I remember it coming out on the blogs. It was a conversation, it was a discussion, but I'm like, suspicion, girl, either it is or it ain't. Why y'all creating other layers talking about a suspicion of DUI and then you give him a ticket? Like, that's just, I don't like that. It's like, one, your way of giving a person a pass, in my opinion, versus giving them a hard DUI if you know they were drinking, which I do believe PK was drinking, but because of who PK is, he probably just got a suspicion of DUI. I don't know, I could be wrong, because based on who he is, they also could have dismissed it as well, and they didn't. But I just don't like that. Either they drunk or they not drunk. Either they driving under the influence or they not. Like, why would you give somebody a ticket for suspicion? Just because you don't find it suspicious, like, you think that is suspicious, you know what I'm saying? It's like, reason I don't like that, because it makes me think about, I guess, the terms probable cause, right? Probable cause. If I smell weed or whatever in the vehicle, then I'm able to search it, and you may not smell it at all, but it's enough for you to say, and it get captured on camera, so you can make it appear as though it was legal for you to go and search this person's car, when technically the person can't refuse, and then y'all use this extra force that's not necessary, all because you didn't get your way, and then da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't like that. I don't like that. So either the man was driving under the influence or he wasn't. What the hell is this suspicion of driving under the influence? But understand, girl, I'm open to learning. So if you guys are out there in the Cali area, you know more about this than me, go ahead and hop down in the comments and let me know. But let's go ahead and let's scoot over. Okay. So Erika was actually, before we get to Erika, let's go back to PK, because PK was actually withholding this information from Dorit, and Dorit was thoroughly pissed the hell off. Okay, Dorit was really mad about it because she felt like, well, what he was telling her was like, the reason I didn't tell you about this was because I was more concerned about you being upset with me because I got home late, versus him actually getting pulled over and getting a ticket for suspicion of DUI. Like, excuse me, like, I felt like Dorit was had me calculating. I love this because Dorit has not been giving us anything this entire season aside from the burglary that nobody really seems to care about, for real, right? So I enjoyed this scene because Dorit, and the way she was drinking on that cup, I said, girl, I know you got some good Starbucks in there. I just know it's giving Starbucks, okay? And I'm just cackling to myself because Dorit is like, oh, really? So that's what you was thinking? Oh, okay, then. All right. And what else? Like, it's like when you know your man is lying and you can catch him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what else happened? I love that little scene of Dorit. This is the most that she's given me this season. Okay. So she didn't like that. She also got him together and said, listen, we don't keep secrets from each other. That's not something that we do. Okay. So I do not like that. Like she says, if the news would have put the information out before she found out about it, all hell would have really broke loose on his end, as it should have. And what's interesting is that a lot of people are speculating, and we don't know what to be true. I'm just telling you what the people speculate. I'm not saying this is happening. That PK may have said it was a scheme that PK set up for them to come to us and Dorit with the BS of the break-in or whatever took place over at her house. And so when I look at the fact that he's withholding this information from her, it's kind of like, you know what, I'm not going to put nothing past you, Mr. PK. I'm not going to put nothing past you. You willing to withhold that information? Wow. You weren't going to tell her about anything? I don't know. I don't know. It's not looking too good. Okay. It's not looking too good. I don't know. I don't know if I can trust you, PK, but okay. Either way. Good luck. Let's keep going. So Erika admits that she was drunk. Okay. When she got home, she ended up hitting her head. And this is when she was sitting down talking to her assistant as well as Lisa Rinna. Okay. So when she got home from the night of the Christmas party, she was under the influence, girl. She didn't hit her head trying to make it in the house. She just had a lot of stuff going on. Even Lisa Rinna, girl, the only credit that I could give her is her seeing that Erika is somewhat spiraling. And this is the beginning of her spiraling. She could have spiraled a long time ago, a long, long time ago when all of this happened. But now she's at this space where she's at the beginning, in my opinion, to spiral when it comes to the drinking and all this other stuff, right? Even her assistant said you don't even drink like that. So you not being a person that typically drinks and you finally get some drink, like you don't know how to handle that alcohol for real. So you over here doing a whole lot. So shout out to them wanting to call her out. Okay. Meanwhile, Kyle is over here trying to blindly support her, knowing that your girl needs help. Like, Kyle, get it together, okay? What else? Erika does admit that she has been reckless, so this is something that she is indeed going to work on. But what I thought was funny to me, and y'all let me know in the comments, when Lisa Rinna went to the confessional, she talked about Miss Erika being a self-medicating. She said she had a sister that self-medicated with drugs, self-medicated, right? And alcohol or whatever her sister was self-medicating with. And it bothered me a little bit because I'm like, so is that the new term? Instead of calling somebody what they are, which is an addict, or saying that a person is becoming an addict, okay, we're using the term self-medicate? Or is that something that's always been around, the term self-medicate, and they're just using it more now because that's what a person is doing in the beginning stages before they, what I'm saying, really lose it, is what I'll say. Because I'm like, if your sister Lisa Rinna was not happy and she was heavily using and all this other stuff, would we call that self-medicate? Maybe that is the new term. Because it sounds like to me your sister was an addict until she tapped out. And it seems like to me that that's the road that Erika is going on. She's becoming an addict. Or is it that she's self-medicating? Like, which one is it? You guys just fill me in the comments down below. Let's get to Dorit and Kyle because they do talk. And of course, Dorit feels like, dang, this situation has happened. It came out on the news. Everybody knows that my husband was arrested under the suspicion of DUI or whatever the case was. And now she's going to be forced to have to talk about it over and over and over and over. And I'm like, well, I want you to talk about it like you were sitting up here about to talk about, or really not about how you were talking about that break-in. Right? I want you to talk about that now. Just like y'all was over here talking about Erika and everything she got going on and having different Google alerts and stuff on your phone whenever Erika Girardi name comes into the news. I want you to talk about it the same way y'all was talking about it last year. Okay? That's what I want you to do. So yeah, talk about it. So we find out that Kyle's husband Mauricio actually knew about it before she even knew about it. She didn't know anything about it, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He told Mauricio because he needed somebody to confide in, but he wanted to make sure that Kyle did not know because he didn't want Kyle to go and tell Dorit. He wanted to tell Dorit on his own time. So that's where we are. Okay. Now Kyle is having to deal with some stuff with Mauricio because she don't want him keeping nothing from her, and it's gonna happen. Okay, that's just what it is, and I feel like they keep stuff from each other, but it depends on what it is. If it's this serious, we shouldn't be keeping that type of stuff from each other. But let's keep going. So Erika and Garcelle, so they end up linking up, and of course it was funny because Garcelle, for you to know that Erika is having a drinking issue, in my opinion, y'all gonna feel and say what y'all want to say because that's just how y'all is. But in my opinion, it's like if you know she got a drinking issue, why order alcohol then? If you so concerned about it, then why not just order some tea or just get some water or some juice, or what do you guys have? Do you have a non-alcoholic margarita or something? Like, why not do that? And then want to set up, because it was given to me. Erika can't say what she said or ask questions about Crystal and her her situation with her weight, but you can come up to her and tell her that she looks skinny. But then here we are, you heavily judge Erika for the things that she do. Meanwhile, you just ordered a drink in front of this lady. Now, first she was trying to start off right because she knows she needs to do better. And granted, I would say that either way, Erika should do what's best for her, which is still get a tea or get a water, right? But y'all know she at her beginning stages, so it's going to be difficult for her to just choose that. So I think if Garcelle would have chose something that was, non-alcoholic, it would have really enticed Erika even more to not get that. But those are just my thoughts. So instead of getting the tea because they didn't have that up there, Erika ended up getting an alcoholic beverage. But then Garcelle goes to the confessional and then she judges her for that. And it's just like, what was the purpose of the sit down? You know what I'm saying? I guess that maybe she wanted to talk to her about her drinking, only for Erika to, I guess she didn't want to hear what Garcelle had to say. So she hurried up and let her know, like, Lisa Rinna got in my tail. So I don't need you to say anything to me about it because Lisa Rinna has already got in my tail. I already know what it is, girl. I know that I should have done better, whatever. Okay. So maybe that's what it was. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, if you come in here to talk to her about her drinking, like, don't you order an alcoholic beverage? At least for this night, you could do water or something else. But anyway, it was what it was. I'm liking Garcelle, especially when it comes to Kyle, but the over judgment that she gives to Erika, I'm not 100% a fan of. I don't. And I'm not even crazy about Erika, but I'm gonna call a spade, regardless of which character it is. So let's keep going. So then Garcelle asked her about, because I think Erika tried to say that she's seeing clearly now. And then Garcelle's like, well, girl, what do you see clear now in the friend group? What do you see? And she's like, well, girl, what I see is that I'm glad you got Cherie around because Sutton is the one that could be a liability for you. And I'm looking like, I know you didn't. I know you didn't just say Sutton is a liability. No, ma'am, you are a liability. Okay. You, Lisa Rinna, all y'all's is liabilities, honey, especially that Diana. Understand? So when Garcelle was in the confessional, she was like, what, girl, you're more of a liability than anybody. I said, absolutely, I agree. I agree. She sure is. So I know you're not sitting over there talking about Sutton, ma'am. Sutton may get a little fly with her mouth sometimes, but I really think it comes from y'all picking on her so much that she feels like she really got to defend herself. And then sometimes Sutton does, like, she do too much at times, but girl, who doesn't on the cast? Like, let's be honest, okay? So anyway, Erika tells her to not cover for Sutton all the time. Stop having Sutton's back all the time. I wanted Garcelle to say to her, oh, you mean how Kyle has your back all of the time? Is that what you're referring to? Now, granted, I do feel like Miss Garcelle does stick up for Sutton sooner than Sutton can stick up for herself. And it's like, just wait a minute. If she's going to be ganged up on, then slide in there. Sometimes just let Sutton do her thing. But even with that being said, it's still like, girl, you mean how Kyle be sitting up there sticking up for you? Is that what you're talking about? That has to be what you're talking about. Okay, then I get it. Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So then like I said, I couldn't disagree, but then I could disagree at the same time. Like, yeah, you do too much at times. All of y'all do, but I feel like it's probably ain't no different than what Kyle does. Like, Kyle don't even want to tell you got a drinking problem. Like, come on now. Anyway, but yeah, that was it. It was a cute episode, but that's all I got for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Sorry it's so late, but I hope you guys enjoy it all the same. Okay, please don't forget to hit that like button as you come in. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell as well. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at jamithatsme, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.